Hello, welcome back to Fred Builds a Bartop arcade machine. In this video we'll be unboxing and having a closer look at the MDF carcass that I bought, and I'll just be explaining why I chose the particular seller on eBay. So I've bought a sort of kit carcass where the parts are all pre-cut, but you have to sort of put it together yourself. And I also chose one that was pre-laminated. Costs a little bit more money, which I'll get to in a minute, but it just saves me having to paint it. So this is the guy, Rich's Bartop Arcades. I say you'll find him on eBay. He does a wide selection of pre-cut kits that you can buy. Seems to have been going quite a while. You can buy just a bare bones basic carcass for about sort of £60 plus delivery. If you want to go slightly less, or you haven't got the space for a full Bartop machine, then he sells just a control panel carcass which you can build up with the proper buttons and joysticks. And the buttons and joysticks themselves, he does do a pack of those. It's quite handy if you want to buy it all from one place and you want to buy from the UK, although there's more choice if you go to China. But out of all the sellers on eBay, I chose this guy because he just has more information available. He's even got a Facebook page as well, which I went and checked out, and on there shows lots of pictures of his machines all finished, and working, so you get a good idea what you're going to buy. So this is the design that I've chosen. It's a standard sort of Bartop design, gives you quite good options with the monitors and things like that. I've chose the lighted buttons. I'm not sure if I'm going to have the lighted buttons on or off at this stage. I bought my button pack from eBay, directly from China, so it's a US dollar conversion. Paid about £50 delivered, but the price does sort of vary depending on the value of the dollar to the pound. Got them from this seller here, but there's so many on there, you've got a lot to choose from. I went for the more traditional joysticks, other than the sort of the plastic rubber type. Quite like that sort of retro feel, and they come with the little control boards and all of the USB cables and switch cables as well. At this stage, I have no idea how this is going to wire together. Got all these switches and lights to put in. I'm just going to sort of fumble along as I go along. So you're going to be learning with me. Right, other things that I've had to buy off eBay, just some of these basic plastic joining blocks to fit the unit together, because unfortunately, and this is going to be my only criticism, the unit doesn't come with any type of fixings. Also picked up some strong aluminium handles, because one thing is the weight of these things. You've got to consider these are probably going to be quite a bit of weight, maybe a two-man lift once they're fully completed. So that's where I'm up to at the moment. Let's get that carcass down and have a closer look at the finish. So here we go, just going to have a look in the box. Oh, before I start, Tom, if you're watching, I know you are, mate, there you go, look. Not wearing that horrible blue fleece you don't like. I'm wearing a grey one, alright mate? Oh dear, good old Tom. Okay, so here we go. This is what is arrived from Rich's Bartop Arcades, all in the box. And yeah, it's just a lot of cut wood, isn't it? And that is one of the problems, to be honest, because what happened was, the missus said to me, well, what do you want for Christmas? And I'm like, oh, I don't know, I've got loads of clothes, I've got pretty much everything I want, to be honest. And she said, what about that arcade machine that you're going to build? Oh, yeah, okay, yeah, well, I could do, get me a cabinet. So she ordered this cabinet, and of course it arrived, and just before Christmas, so I've just got to open it just before Christmas to make sure that it's all okay. So we sort we opened it, and she was like, oh, is that it? It's just a load of wood. And that's what it is, and it just looks like a load of wood. But what you've got to do, you've obviously got to look a little bit deeper, and you've got to look at the amount of work that I would need to do to get to this stage. So what I've done, I've chosen 18mm MDF. Some are 12mm, they're slightly cheaper, they will be slightly lighter, but I've chosen 18mm. The reason I've done that is because I have built kind of sit-down sim arcade machines and things in the past, and I've used 12mm because it was easier to handle. But 12mm can get a little bit kind of flexible, especially if it's something that you need to take apart. Now with this, this thing is never going to be completely static. Obviously computers and things upgrade, and I will be at some point modifying it, so I will be taking bits apart. So it has to be solid to start with. So anyway, I went with the 18mm carcass. Also, it's laminated, very nicely laminated as well. Now
that does cost a bit more money. Now you probably could save a fair bit of money with buying one of Rich's just basic MDF carcasses and then painting it yourself. Depends how you feel about paint finish. I'm a little bit finicky about paint finish. I generally use car paint when I've done them before, and you paint them with primer, rub it down, and you finally spray it. You could even lacquer it with car paint. This all comes as laminated MDF. So overall, yeah, I mean, it is the quality of the finish that I couldn't personally achieve. My woodworking skills just aren't that good. I haven't got the correct tools to get this kind of level of finish. You're going to need obviously more than just a jigsaw. You're going to need a router. Also, you'll notice there's like, can you see that? There's like a little V slot in there. There's a 3mm little V slot in there. That's for something called T-moulding, which is a plastic sort of finishing trim that you'll hammer in later, and that really makes a difference to the Arcadia. In my opinion, it makes it look a lot more professional. Without that little slot, you can't use it. To safely do that, you need a router. I know some people do use a Dremel tool, but it's quite dangerous with those little discs when they split up. So I will say, when I first opened this up, I say in front of the missus, and the first bit I picked up was this, and I saw this, and I thought, oh no. This is all kind of, but of course this is the back of the panel where the round sort of like keyhole drill has gone through, and of course you're going to get a little bit of fracturing on the laminate, but of course on the front of the wood it's perfect. So very impressed by the quality and finish. It's very professional, everything perfectly square, and it really is very nicely made. Much better than I could possibly do myself. So yeah, it is expensive, including delivery. It's £140 if you want the laminate finish one. Probably about £80 delivered for the non-finished one. But for my reckoning, I just want to get on and sort of build it. So yeah, for me anyway, it was worth it. Mrs. not so much. Mrs. was like, oh, I've just paid 140 quid for a load of wood. Yeah, and that is a point, because of course my only criticism, which I mentioned earlier, is not the finish and not the quality of the MDF, because it is very nice quality, but I say Richie doesn't actually supply any fixing blocks or any markings or pre-drillings for fixing. Now it's all explained on his Facebook page, and a couple of people have criticised him on this and said, oh, I was expecting to be able to put this together straight away, and now I've got to go out and buy fixings. And to his defence, what he says is that so many people have got their own ideas on how they want to fix these together. Some people just want to use the plastic joining blocks. Some people want to glue it together with sort of wooden battens and things, and other people even want to mitre in some biscuit joints. So he's decided that he's not going to supply, any fixings himself. So it just gives you the option to use whatever you want to use, and put it together yourself. And it's pretty basic. Also, obviously, people have got their own interpretation of how they want to do the cabinet and where they want to sort of fix the edges and things like that. So yeah, it's completely open to interpretation. I mean, it's fine for me, because the main thing was getting all of this nicely finished and cut out symmetrical, and something I would struggle to do. But I can understand that if you wanted to get on and build this cabinet, then yeah, okay, you've now got to go out and buy yourself some fixings, which I've showed you earlier. I've ordered those, got those online because it was cheaper, to be honest. You can get them from any DIY store. But yeah, maybe if you supplied a fixing kit, and maybe inside they were pre-drilled, so you could just get on and fix it together. Well, maybe not. So there you go. I just thought I'd like to show you that. That's how far I've got. The next bit I say is when I get the little blocks in, I will start to put it together. Some of it I'm going to screw together so it does come apart in the future. Kind of as I go along, really. Some of it I will be gluing permanently with Gorilla wood glue, and yeah, that's about as sort of far as we are. So the next video is all going to be about the computer software, and that's a program called Hyperspin and Rocket Launcher, which I've kind of almost gone back to school and I've been learning quite a bit about that over the last few evenings and taking lots of notes, which I'll show you in the next video. And that's to get all of the software and get all of the emulators working and getting the whole thing running. But for now, we're just waiting for a few things to come through so I can start to put this together. So it is just a load of wood at the moment, but I just thought I'd show you this carcass anyway. Okay, as always, thanks for watching. Thanks for coming with me with the journey. Cheers. If you're new to the channel, you want to see more of this, I'm going to be putting up a long series of these videos. So please subscribe and you can come along and join me. All good and bad, mistakes and everything else will be shown as I build this machine. Right, that's it for now. Look, catch me on the next video where I'll do the computer thing. So as always, cheers, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you later. Bye bye guys.